Delimitation Appeals Committee report handed over to the subject minister. Board of Directors of the Lanka Coal Company, including Maitri Gunaratna, removed on the orders of Minister Siambala Pitya. Artists visit Wemawee Diwan. Manpower employees Satyagraha campaign demanding permanent employment at the CEB enters its 15th day. Survey department to be transferred to an American company, a claim from trade unions. Views expressed at the media briefing of the Federation of National Organizations.
Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Aishtara Pinto. Let's start off with a look at the stories in detail. Employees of manpower agencies continue to camp outside the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy, demanding that their positions be made permanent for the 14th straight day today.
Although 7,000 manpower workers were recruited to the permanent service of the Ceylon Electricity Board, they had not completed 180 days by 31st of December to be eligible for permanent appointment. As a consequence, the Ceylon Electricity Board relieved the services of 194 meter readers from the 1st of January. Since losing their jobs, these workers have been staging a satyagraha outside the ministry premises. We were living amid many economic hardships. I don't have my father. We lost him while I was doing my O-levels. My mother is around 75 years. We are helpless and poor. We have one meal a day and it is with my salary that we managed everything. Several among our group have been hospitalized because of living in the streets for the past 15 days. I'm a meter reader from Ampara. There are few others down with dengue.
Newsfirst also spoke to the family members of those affected.
My brother was employed for over 2 years. However, now he has no job. My brother took care of our family. We are helpless now. He provides us with everything. I hope he receives his job back. My son provides us with all we need for a living. Now we are rendered helpless. He has the necessary qualifications to enter the university. However, due to petty political agendas, he is left helpless. Since the 31st of December, my son is jobless. He is the one who took care of the entire family. My husband is also at home. He cannot work.
The report compiled by the Delimitation Appeals Committee was handed over to the Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government, Faiza Mustafa.
The Delimitation Appeals Committee was appointed on the 1st of November 2015 under the leadership of Ashoka Pires. The committee consists of Attorney-at-Law Salia Matthew representing the United People's Freedom Alliance, Attorney-at-Law A.S.M. Misbah representing the UNP, Attorney-at-Law Upul Kumara Peruma representing the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna, and P. Balasundaram representing the Tamil National Alliance. There were several delays in handing over the report on previous occasions due to various reasons. However, the report was handed over today with the signatures of all members.
We will gazette the report as soon as possible, rectify mistakes such as the spelling mistakes. We will not treat any party in an unfair manner during the process. There was a cabinet subcommittee. We have also presented the 56 amendments prepared by that committee. We will not delay this election by any means. Though we handed this over, we still have some administrative tasks to perform. We will gazette only the amendments. We will complete everything within this month and close the office. There's a footnote in this. When preparing the report, we had to follow some simple principles according to its mandate. And those were the number, name, boundary of the division. But during the process, certain public representatives presented external factors. For example, they would ask us to make a Pradesh Sabha and urban council. We mentioned the shortcomings that we came across, but which are beyond our authorization. So this footnote is regarding that. I went through the footnote. I can responsibly state that this footnote will not interfere this process in any way. When are you planning to hold the elections? The Elections Commission is the one who decides the time period after this is being gazetted.
The Government Surveyors Association revealed today that there are attempts to transfer the responsibilities of the survey department of Sri Lanka to an American company.
The required plans have already been drawn up to completely transfer the survey department to an American company. The government is saying that America forced this on us, but it is clear to us that there is some sort of scandal here. We caution the incumbent government not to lay their hands on this. This is just the first measure we are taking today, but come the near future, we will have to take the necessary steps. We state with responsibility that the Government Surveyors Association is not a trade union which falls prey to money.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe met with Professor Joseph Stiglitz today, a university professor of Columbia University and the School of International and Public Affairs, on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
During the meeting, Prime Minister Wickremesinghe had extended an invitation to Professor Stiglitz to visit Sri Lanka to assess and provide his expertise on the country's future economic development plan. The Prime Minister had pointed out that plans are being made to make Sri Lanka a high-income generating country by the year 2030. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe had further emphasized that the consensual government led by President Maithripala Sirisena is taking a series of positive measures to rebuild the country while facing many current challenges.
The Come at the movement reaches another milestone with the launch of its online payment portal. To be a part of this initiative, log on to www.commathe.lk. Come join us, transform the landscape of rural Sri Lanka.
A new computerized system for the continuous discharge of certificates of Merchant Navy personnel issued after their registration at the Merchant Shipping Secretariat was implemented today. The event to introduce a protected computerized system to continuously discharge certificates by the Merchant Shipping Secretariat to the Navy personnel was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. Accordingly, it is compulsory for all Navy officers who are employed in ships to receive the discharge certificates through this protected computerized method. With the implementation of this computerized system, the difficulties faced by Merchant Navy officers, ship owners and other related parties will be reduced.
In other local stories, several people were seen visiting MP Wemawee Diwan, who remains under remand custody at the Walikada prison. Today, a group of artists visited Weerawansa.
Though a large group of artists had arrived to visit Wemawee Diwan, only a few were granted permission to do so. The group subsequently expressed their views to the media. We are not raising our voices against the imprisonment of criminals or against the implementation of the law. But is the law being implemented properly at this moment? Do we see an independence of the law? This is actually a political witch hunt. There is a landmaster in this list of vehicles as well. Do they think that Wemawee Diwan used his landmaster to see Vesak with his family? What kind of joke is this?
අපිට ඒක ගැන කතා කරන්න බෑ මොකද මේක නඩුවක් පවතින නිසා ඒ පිළිබඳව අපිට කතා කරන්න බෑ.
අනිවාර්යෙන්ම මම
I certainly did a lot for Mahinda Rajapaksa. I do not have a vast knowledge on history or politics, but I believe that I have the capability to identify the people who love this country and its people.
Minister of Power and Renewable Energy Ranjith Siyambalapitiya has informed the chairman of Lanka Coal Company Private Limited, Maitri Gunaratne, that he will be removed from his post with immediate effect. The decision follows a recommendation by the Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy to dissolve the Board of Directors of Lanka Coal Company Private Limited.
Ranjith Siyambalapitiya had informed Chairman of Lanka Coal Company Private Limited, Maitri Gunaratne, that its Board of Directors would be dissolved with immediate effect as per the powers vested by the Articles of Association of the company. On the 15th of this month, Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy, Dr. Suren Batagoda, had recommended to dissolve the company's Board of Directors. This was while presenting the recommendations of the audit report on the procurements made by Lanka Coal Company Private Limited from 2009 to 2016. In his recommendations, Dr. Batagoda had said that Lanka Coal Company Private Limited must be held responsible for the estimated loss of 4.145 billion rupees as revealed in the audit report. Batagoda says while it is the duty of Lanka Coal Company Private Limited to draft the documents to call for bids, the audit report details that the company has failed to draft the documents correctly over the past 6 years. The audit report had further recommended to re-evaluate the existence of the company as it does not seem to be an essential entity for the state to operate with least cost and risk. Dr. Suren Batagoda says that Lanka Coal Company Private Limited has not taken any measure thus far to either rectify the facts presented in the audit reports nor identify the individuals involved. Earlier this evening, Chairman of Lanka Coal Company Private Limited, Attorney-at-Law Maitri Gunaratne, had sent a response to the letter addressed by Dr. Suren Batagoda. Gunaratne says that the Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy has distorted the recommendations of the audit report before presenting it. Maitri Gunaratne says the fact that the Secretary has presented the recommendations before the Secretarial Oversight Committee, which requested for the audit report, has taken the audit report for discussion, is an influence towards the committee. Gunaratne is of the view that the current Board of Directors of the company should not be held accountable for the alleged 4.145 billion rupee loss said to have been caused from 2009 to 2016. While recalling the Supreme Court's case report on the 24th of June 2016 that Batagoda had misled the cabinet, Maitri Gunaratne says that he continues to mislead the minister and the government in his capacity as a state official.
All the charges presented by the Ministry Secretary could be defined as criminal charges because it is the procurement committee led by the Secretary himself who have taken all the decisions and caused a massive loss to the country. If there's a loss which has been borne as mentioned in the Auditor General's report, it is the Cabinet Procurement Committee which has to bear the loss. The President of the Good Governance Government appointed me to this position and I'm thankful to that. I can bravely say that I have protected the trust he placed in me. It is none other than the foreign suppliers who say that the Lanka Coal Company has functioned transparently and not in a fraudulent manner.
Meanwhile, the Anti-Corruption Front says that according to the Auditor General's report, it is the ministry which should be held accountable for the loss caused to the country and not the Lanka Coal Company. It is the view of the Anti-Corruption Front that it was the Ministry's Secretary who had facilitated in bringing in the tender through the back door when the Supreme Court had declared it null and void.
The coal scandal is one of the daylight robberies which took place under this Good Governance government. All the ministry secretaries and technical officers behind this are taking measures to go ahead with this corrupt deal unfazed. The Supreme Court has issued a verdict that this transaction is null and void. Despite every possible measure which has been taken with regard to this corrupt deal and a written complaint being made to the President requesting that this transaction be terminated, just 2 weeks later, officials at the Ministry of Power and Energy are attempting to commit this coal scam in broad daylight by bringing this transaction to the fore once again. So now a mechanism is in effect to remove the officials and state officials who are standing against this.
National Freedom Front Monaragala District Parliamentarian Padmajashantou was summoned to the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division today.
MP Padmajashantou was summoned to record a statement pertaining to an ongoing investigation into the alleged misuse of vehicles. If the law is truly being implemented, why don't they summon Arjun Mahendran and Ranil Wickramasinghe, who have been accused of multi-billion rupee scam as mentioned in the court report? Bring Ranil Wickramasinghe for at least one day to the FCID for an investigation or file a case in court. But no, those measures aren't being taken. We will topple this government, and on that day we will bring this batch of thieves to the FCID. Not only that, we will also propose the new remand prisons be constructed just to be prepared.
JVP Southern Provincial Councillor Ratna Gamage made the following remarks at a media briefing today.
Was it only the misuse of vehicles that the previous government was involved in? This is the game played to satisfy two parties. One is the attempts taken by the government of good governance to fulfill the aspirations of the people of this country. And on the other side, they will tell the thieves that they will save them from the trouble and ask them to go behind bars for a few days and that they will be released. This is a deal. So the previous government and the government of good governance together with the Prime Minister is involved in a deal. Now see, the ones who are arrested walk into the cells as if they are national war heroes who have fought for the nation. The worst part is when the people of our country too go and welcome these people.
The Federation of National Organizations convened a media briefing today.
He didn't ruin the country, he saved it. What are you saying? Did he betray the country? Which newspaper are you from? Even though he stole, did he betray the country? It doesn't matter how much he stole.
State Minister of Finance Lakshman Yapabewardena convened a media briefing today.
The President decided that the previous price of a lottery ticket should be retained. Therefore, I believe that the issues that have arisen over the lottery board can be resolved completely. In 2015, the full income from the lotteries was 27 billion rupees. We have obtained close to 28% of the non-taxable income of the Development Lotteries Board and the National Lotteries Board. The Inland Revenue Department and the state have received enormous earnings during the past year thanks to the retained profit tax of 10% for winnings over 500,000 rupees. The Development Lotteries Board alone has provided 2 billion rupees alone to the President's fund in 2014. There is no silence. I said that in January we will take this up. We definitely took this matter up in January. It will be presented for debate on the 24th. When it is presented for debate, it will carry the Speaker's signature to the Attorney General's Department. When it goes to the Attorney General's Department, we will soon find out what steps need to be taken. We have not budged on decimal from the stand we took when this matter occurred initially. As per the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, this is the fraud which should be punished. All efforts should be taken on this matter. That is something we have been saying all along. That stand will not change.
Welcome back to the news. There was outrage on social media recently due to a Facebook page which contained pictures of young girls accompanied by lewd comments. According to the police, they are awaiting a complaint to take action on the matter. Newsfirst Pavani Hapuarachi reports.
According to the Computer Emergency Readiness Team, or CERT, the page that had published pictures of apparently underage girls accompanied by sexually offensive comments had taken down the said pictures yesterday. When Newsfirst made inquiries, CERT Information Security Engineer Roshan Chandragupta said that since the Police Cybercrimes Division is fully equipped to handle such situations, they do not get involved in conducting investigations in such cases.
As of now, Police Cybercrime Division is well equipped with all kind of tools to investigate such matters as far as I know. So in that case, if they require any kind of assistance, we would be happy to give them. But as of now, they have the capabilities to do any investigation relevant to such pages and so on as they have seen in the recent past. So technical support, if they require understanding these technical matters and so on, we would be helping them. But as I know, for now, they are well equipped with required capacity.
Meanwhile, when contacted, police media spokesperson DIG Priyantha Jayakudi said the police had not received a complaint regarding the matter. He added that the questions should be posed to the Facebook administration and said that the police are unaware of the situation. Nevertheless, Attorney-at-Law Sunil Aberatna, who specializes in cybercrimes, noted that the police is not required to wait for a complaint to be lodged to take action in such cases.
Once again, the police, the investigator, they don't need to wait until a person lodges a complaint. If the victim, if they don't give their assistance properly, it will be difficult to carry out this investigation.
The perpetrators of this heinous crime remain at large.
A tense situation arose at a newly built bus stand in Vaunia today.
The tense situation between private bus operators and the Transport Board broke out over a dispute on where bus operations would commence from. Previously, employees of the SLTB as well as private bus operators commenced their operations from the old bus stand. With the opening of a new bus stand yesterday, the private bus operators had agreed to park their buses at the premises while the SLTB employees were not in consensus. Problems have arisen since both parties are unable to carry out operations from the location. While the police was dispatched to control the situation, additional forces also needed to be deployed to bring the situation under control. The tense situation, which went on for an hour and a half, had caused vehicular congestion along the Anuradhapura-Jaffna road. A bus belonging to the SLTB was also damaged in the incident.
Several areas in the island have been adversely affected owing to weak rainfall and prevalent dry weather. This report is about the villagers in the Pattiyalanda area in Monaragala who are struggling to find safe drinking water.
The Pattiyalanda village is located around 4 kilometers from the town. The villagers who obtain water through tube wells have not been receiving water for almost a month now. Hulanda Oya has become the last resort for these villagers. However, this is how residents have to search for water in the Hulanda Oya. Around 800 families in the Pattiyalanda village have fallen victim to this situation. These villagers have to walk for almost 10 to 12 kilometers in search for water. We have to walk around 8 kilometers in search of water to bathe. There is no water in the tap line.
There is no water to drink. We have no water to bathe.
The administrative controller of the Immigration and Immigration Department says that the functions of the department have been hampered due to the vacancies that have arisen due to the transfers of 9 officers from the department further to the annual transfers that take place for administrative service officers. The controller made this statement in response to the revelation that was made by Action TV last Sunday.
Actually, there were 8 posts that were not filled prior to the annual transfers that took place. These transfers took place in this backdrop. Only 3 officers have been appointed as replacements. These 3 officers are yet to report to the department to commence work. Therefore, there is a huge issue that has arisen over the day-to-day operations of the department. Even right now, the functions of this department are being carried out with a less number of officers. Therefore, the general public would be greatly inconvenienced by the state of affairs where transfers are being effected without replacements being appointed. Through this, the state would be largely inconvenienced. As it is, the management is finding it difficult to function with the officers it has. The department is facing this issue at a time when the cadre of the department should be increased. Actually, the Immigration and Immigration Department is a very prestigious entity. Therefore, I cannot understand why there has been such a delay in the replacements reporting to work at this department.
The World Bank says that economic growth in Sri Lanka is expected to climb to an average of 5.1% between 2017 and 2019, supported by increased private consumption and an uptick in foreign direct investment. In its Global Economic Prospectus report released this month, the World Bank further states that political deadlock in the coalition government on spending priorities could hinder the pace of economic reforms.
In Sri Lanka, growth remained steady at 4.8% in 2016 from the previous year, boosted by strong activity in the construction and services and particularly tourism sectors, as well as resumption of the $1.4 billion Colombo Port City real estate project. In addition, a loan of $1.5 billion from the IMF under the Extended Fund Facility Program relieved balance of payment stress. However, flooding, a slowdown in exports and a deceleration in private investment weighed on activity. The World Bank report also notes the reductions in energy subsidies and an increase in excise taxes eased spending pressures in Sri Lanka, but this was partly offset by political disagreements in the coalition government on spending priorities. It adds that in the near term, investment growth in Sri Lanka is expected to continue on a downward trend following the tightening of monetary policy in mid-2016 that raised financing costs.
It's true that not much or significant increase in FDI, foreign direct investment has been forthcoming in the last 2 years or even before that. Despite that fact, FDI is not the sole factor which drives economic growth. Despite the low foreign direct investment flows, if the domestic consumption and especially the construction boom which continues, or e-commerce, there was a lull in, I think, 2015-16, but now that some of the stalled mega Chinese-funded projects have resumed, so that construction boom and increased domestic consumption, private consumption could potentially drive economic growth. If you understand, like for example, the infrastructure-led economic growth is largely debt-fueled, except that in some projects is FDI, like for example this Colombo International Financial Center, formerly called as Port City. That is foreign direct investment, but otherwise, it is very difficult to pinpoint. Then we had to go very deep into find out the sources of economic growth to determine whether it's really a real sustainable economic growth or not.
Issuing a communique, the Ministry of Industry and Commerce says it's looking at importing sugar from Thailand in the backdrop of sugar imports from Brazil being put on hold due to smuggling of cocaine.
A communique by the Ministry of Industry and Commerce further notes that it is set to conclude a Sri Lanka-Thai free trade agreement study in August this year. Sri Lanka has also requested for technical assistance from Thailand for gem and jewellery, food processing, agriculture, electronics and automobile components.
And that's a wrap of your Primetime News. I'm Aishwarya Pinto.
And I'm Shane Silva. Take care and good night.